Mataji, NIRMALA Devi. She was giving a talk, you see, in one of the halls, I think Bharunkar Hall was there. And she said that Sahaj Yoga is considered, if you think it is not possible, why don't you do some research? And that was the beginning in 1984 of the doing some research on Sahaj Yoga. I was a professor at that time. I asked one of my postgraduate students to take this topic, and he started doing, and the first thing that came to my mind was that if I have to ask somebody that do this yoga, then I must be very clear, like a scientist, to know that what will happen, what are the effects of this yoga on his body. And therefore, the first year the thesis was ready. I would like to tell you only few, you see. One was that there was a change in the secretion of neurotransmitter. And this neurotransmitter, as the doctors here will know, adrenaline, you see, is usually produced when you are in a stage of psychological stress. If there is a greater production of adrenaline in our body, it can give rise to so many things. It produces anxiety, neurosis, it can produce hypertension, palpitation, and so on. I thought that this is one very good thing, that if by doing Sahaj Yoga for 15 to 20 minutes, you can decrease the production of adrenaline, which is the culprit for giving heart attack, hypertension, anxiety, neurosis, sometimes insomnia, and so on, then why not we do another research and try to find out that whether it would be helpful in the treatment of essential hypertension. And so another thesis was done. Now this student got his MD on this subject. Then we took another work to find out what is the role of Sahaj Yoga in the management of essential hypertension. And this again was a postgraduate doctorate thesis. And one of the, I don't know Professor Gupta is here or not, Professor Saroj Gupta. She was the head of the medicine, Lady Harding Medical College. She was a cardiologist also. And so I asked Dr. They have left their medicine and now they maintain their presentation normal simply by doing Sahaj Yoga 15 minutes a day. Now this was something very encouraging for us, and I told Shri Mataji about it, and then one day Shri Mataji told me that you, Dr. Rai, Sahaj Yoga can cure epilepsy. I was really surprised. I said, Mataji, it is all right for hypertension, it is all right for insomnia and other things, anxiety, neurosis. But epilepsy, you see, is very difficult to believe. For 1.5 years, I did not take this research project because I was not able to conceive that how could it help in the management of epilepsy. But fortunately what happened, Dr. P. Ramamurthy, who was a famous neurosurgeon from Madras, I happened to go in a conference and he read a paper, and in his paper he showed what he did actually was he collected the EEG waves from the saints in Himalayas into a module, and after that, from that module he transmitted those waves through the photic stimulation into the epileptic patient. And he demonstrated that if such waves are transmitted into the person, the epileptic patients improve. Now that gave me an idea that what Mataji is saying can be true. Because when we do Sahaj Yoga, it actualizes in our brain, it increases our alpha index, that is the index of the alpha waves of the brain, and these alpha waves are more in cases of the persons who are doing meditation. And one is here in this gathering. She was a student. She did work for 2 years, 3 years, I think. And this time, I thought I should not do it alone. I take the help of some other persons, neurologists, who are expert in the field of neurology. And so we asked one neurologist, Dr. Gupta, H.L. Gupta was there, and she was one of the supervisors. And then I asked Dr. Sarvamurthy, he was at that time a scientist, but now he is the director of the Defense Institute of Physiology and Allied Sciences. And because in Defense Institute of Physiology and Allied Sciences, we had a very good computerized EEG machine. And when we So, in short, I would like to tell you that prayer yoga has got many medical benefits. And now Shri MATAJI is coming. I think we should be ready to receive her.
कैसे हैं आप? ठीक है?
ICSE board के chairman हमारे स्कूल के board of he's a diplomat from Russia.
How do you do?
Nice to meet you. What is the? What is the? It's a lady on the right. The governor on
Kerry Saxena is the governor of Jammu Kashmir.
The first Mr. Shri said, chairman of the Executive Committee, to come on the
I've told them about Sahaj Yoga and medical benefits. It's relevant.
Now, Mr. Shri said, chairman of the Research Committee will govern our Holiness MATAJI will be.
Do we add 2 more to Sota Vijay?
Now, Mrs. Louis Talwar will be presenting a bouquet to Her Holiness. Malini Khanna to present the bouquet to Shri B.S. Reddy. former governor of UP. Mr. Jagjoti Jan to present a bouquet to Shri Saxena, the governor of Jammu. Dr. U.C. Rai to present a bouquet to His Excellency Mr. C.P. Srivastava. Your Holiness, Shri Mataji, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it is my proud privilege to welcome Her Holiness, Dr. NIRMALA. She married to Dr. C.P. Srivastava, a talented student of his time who later joined the Indian Administrative Service and rose to the high position of Private Secretary to then Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri, and later retired as Secretary General of the International Maritime Organization of the United Nations. Currently, Shri Mataji is stationed in Italy, but keeps on moving from one country to the other, enlightening people on the benefits of Raja Yoga, with the result that today this science is practiced in more than 65 countries. She has blessed millions of people in Asia, Africa, Europe, North and South America. She is having several chapters in Russia and has recently opened one in China also. Sad Yoga was originally described in Markandeya Puran, as Dr. U.C. Rai has very shortly mentioned, centuries back, but remained in oblivion till Shri Mataji rediscovered it in 1970. According to her, the practice of Sad Yoga transforms the personality of a person, giving lectures or writing books, but by evolving a more humane society comprising good-natured and law-abiding citizens who are full of love and compassion and fraternal feelings. Those who fully understand one another and have no ill will for anyone irrespective of their diverse caste, color or creed. On a clarion call, hundreds and thousands of people have given up drugs and alcohol and are today leading a happy and healthy normal life. Shri Mataji's celestial work has been acclaimed universally. Her program of self-realization has been received with great enthusiasm all over the world. I have no words to describe her outstanding services for global transformation, for her contribution towards awakening of autonomy, self-knowledge. The Petro-Vyska Academy of Sciences in St. Petersburg has conferred its prestigious membership on her. The University of Ecology, Bucharest, and decorations on her for her exceptional contribution in creating awareness among the people to become good citizens. Friends, I would like to quote here the remarks made by none else but Mr. Klaus Nobel, the chairman of the United Earth, of a new golden epoch for mankind. This epoch in human history will constitute a much needed giant leap forward in the evolution of species Homo sapiens. I unquote. In the end, I express our sincere gratitude and felicitations to Shri Mataji for a very thoughtful gesture to grace us with her august presence this evening. In appreciation of her noble work and her outstanding contribution in the creation of a happier and a healthier society, my organization, Unity International Foundation, is pleased to nominate Her Holiness Dr. NIRMALA Devi with its highest award, Unity Award for International Understanding. Earlier recipients of this prestigious award are the world-renowned personalities like the late Governor General of Mauritius, Sir Shri Ramgulam, the late Swedish Prime Minister Olof Palme, the President of Argentina in 1985, Dr. Raul Alfonsín, and the latest among the recipients is the Kyrgyzstan President, Dr. Askar Akay. The award will be presented sometime later this year, seeing the convenience of Shri MATAJI. Ladies and gentlemen, please give standing ovation to her. Our Co-Secretary General on behalf of Unity International Foundation, Mr. MATAJI, and meeting her. Now I shall be requesting our chairman, Mr. Deputy Jan, to tell us something about the award which we are going to give to Her Holiness Dr. Devi. Mrs. Julie said, please come over here.
What Unity International is. The Unity International is an organization dedicated to the twin ideals of one world, one family. It has been working ceaselessly to promote understanding and goodwill among the peoples of the different hues and origins, irrespective of their diverse ideologies and customs. Having inspiration of two great protagonists of secularism and international fraternity, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru and Dr. Zakir Hussain, Unity International was established in 1962, and this year we are celebrating the 35th anniversary of its inception. The former President of India, late Jani Zair Singh, nurtured it for long and had been the chief patron till his death. Besides other activities, from time to time, Unity International honors world-renowned personalities for their outstanding contributions to international understanding and world peace. We have 4 types of awards. The highest award is only given to the heads of the states and the government, and among the recipients are eminent personalities, as has already been told to you by Mr. Anil, late Dr. Governor General of Mauritius, Dr. Shri Ramgulam, the late Swedish Premier, Olof Palme, and the President of Argentina, Dr. Raul Alfonsín, and others. Our second award is for the scholars, artists, and people from the cultural field who have been richly contributing to human civilization through their respective professions and vocations. Among the recipients are a Japanese medical scientist, a Norwegian peace crusader, an Australian human rights activist, a Hungarian painter, and a member of British House of Lords, and so on. Unity International also gives awards for the national understanding, and one of the recipients of this award is none other than Dr. B. Satyanarayana Reddy, who is presiding here today, and the other recipient who has already been announced is Mr. Khurshid Alam Khan, the Governor of Karnataka. Our 4th type of award is Ambassador of the Year, and among the recipients are the Ambassador of Argentina, China, Russia, and so on. The foundation is pleased to announce its highest award so far given only to the heads of the state for Her Holiness Dr. NIRMALA Devi, which will be presented to her later on a mutually convenient date. With these, ladies and gentlemen, I have the highest pleasure of announcing this for her holiness. Thank you.
Excellencies, now I am going to request Her Holiness, because everybody is waiting for almost 2 hours to listen her. I request Her Holiness to give her words of wisdom to the august guest.
I'm very much grateful to this great organization that we should have international unity. Now, as far as efforts are concerned, people have done lots of research, lots of conferences, and also they have tried to convince people that without the unity we cannot exist. The vision is that this world is one. We are all part and parcel of this world. But we are not yet connected as we are in our body, that even if you get a pinprick, the whole body knows about it. Because we are not awakened, our awareness is not such that you can feel this collective awareness within us. This collective awareness has been taught by you long time back, but not here as it should have been. In the collective awareness, what happens is, as Dr. Roy has told you, that this Kundalini, which is your own power, which is your own mind. When that happens, so, as a result of that, you become part and parcel of the whole. Become aware of others. And this we call as collective consciousness, about which Yoga has talked. He has talked and described. But to understand it properly, we must have the experience of becoming one with this all-pervading power of divine love. We have heard about it in the Bible, in the Quran, in all our Indian scriptures. It is described that there is a power, very subtle power, which does all the work for us. Now, we do not actually believe that it exists. And sometimes, even when I tell people, they think it's something beyond our intellect. But you have to go beyond your mind. That is very important. Now this mind of ours, which we consider to be something very precious, is just made by us through our ego and through our condition. Mind is a myth, because created by us, and we play into the hands of our mind as we use our computers. The computer is made by us, and the computer is ruling us. In the same way, this mind controls us. And we always take guidance from this mind, which is a myth. If I say that, you should not be shocked, because we are very much identified with this mind. But I must tell you, if this mind goes off its track, he can make anyone mad. It can get identified with any idea. It can get identified with any person or any stupid thing as something very truthful. So it can lead human beings to wars, to all kinds of things that will remove unity from our minds. For example, I was talking to someone who wanted to have a separate state. I said, why do you want to have a separate state? So the gentleman said that, you see, we can then have 2 prime ministers. I said, why? Because he wanted to become the prime minister. Now, in our country, our country has been divided into 3 more countries like say, Burma was a part, Sri Lanka was a part of our country, Pakistan, also we have Bangladesh. Now if you go to these countries, you'll be surprised that they are in a mess, complete mess. For example, the people who fought to get their freedom and separation, most of them were murdered. And Habibur Rahman was murdered, then you know in Lanka also Bandhanati was murdered, then also in Pakistan, Bhutto was murdered. These are the people, they wanted to have some position, so they started saying we must have separate state, separate identity. But for whom it worked for whom. But still they don't see the point by getting separated from the mainland, how much they have separated. In the same way in Europe now they have started a big campaign that we all should be united. Now all that uniting is so artificial that it has affected the growth of these countries. I went to Greece to begin with, was very different. But when I went to Greece later on, I was surprised that people were saying, we don't know why we joined this European market, we are not capable, they are going to rule us, these Germans are going to sit on us. And so I felt that even the unity so-called, which was done, was not done in a proper way, but it was very, very artificial. Otherwise they would have been happy. Same in Russia, see now Belarus is trying to come back to Russia. And I told also the Ukraine people, why are you separated from Russia? As they think they are suffering. So to have this idea that we should separate from one country to another country and can achieve something, I haven't seen any country achieving any better results. So this unity works in a different way, which is not artificial, but which is real. When you get your self-realization and something has told you, then what happens that you develop within yourself a new dimension by which you feel the collective consciousness. You can feel on your fingertips, you can feel what's wrong with you through self-knowledge. Also through collective consciousness, you can feel what's wrong with that. So once that happens, the unity comes so fast. I'm myself amazed the way things are happening with certain. I went to Russia. I was a little shy of publicity. But when I went for my first lecture in Leningrad, I was amazed that there were 2,000 people sitting outside and 2,000 people were sitting inside. I just couldn't understand how could these Russians take to me so easily. But they said, what about us? We can't get inside these halls because it's very limited. I said, all right, doesn't matter, I'll come back now. When I talked to them, and they got, all of them got realization, I came out, they were still sitting there. Said, what about us? All right, I said, you come tomorrow. I'll be here in the morning. In Russia, we have lots of big places there and very beautiful gardens. So I said, you better come and I'll sit on the stair and I'll talk to you. You'll be amazed, there were 5,000 to 6,000 people who came. Those who were inside, those who were outside, and many others. I was amazed. I said, how is it you have taken to me? What have I done for you? What makes you think that I can give you something special? They said, it's so obvious. I was surprised at their sensitivity. And I found Russians, also other these 5 Eastern Bloc people are extremely sensitive. So one of the reasons for sensitivity, perhaps, maybe, I don't know, because they think they were oppressed or whatever it is. But the thing is, they have lost their sense of possession. They are not possessive. They were told by the government, you can take your flats and live there happily. They said, no, we don't want one. You better come. The cars were given to them. They said, no, we don't want. You can keep the cars in the government control. We cannot control our cars. We cannot control. They have no sense of permission and fairness. They have such a clean slate. Another thing, they don't know anything about any condition. Because they were not told about religion, they were never told about war, they were never told about all these things, which is also creating problems in our country. I was so surprised when these people took to Sir Russell. That next program I had, we had 18,000 people. I mean, amazing it is the way Russians have taken Sir. I don't know Russian language. They said, Mother, you look like a Russian. I said, maybe. And they were so sweet and so nice. And then we had a program of 250 scientists. I must say, Russia has developed science in such a subtle manner. They are very big scientists. And they all were there, and I started telling them about science. I thought, talk about something else, it will not be so good. So better start on science. One gentleman got up and said, Mother, we have had enough of science. Now will you please tell us the science of the divine? This reaction was true. That way, I must say, we Indians are quite cognizant. They are really seekers, and they want to know what is the truth. They want to know what is the divine. Perhaps they were not allowed to know about it or whatever it is or whatever they have done. One thing I have noticed about them is that they have been very introspective. If you read any one of their great authors, even the hero is introspective. It's a temperament of introspection that has worked in them, that they want to know what are we doing, why are we here. And it's tremendous the way they have really accepted such. They are so deep, that even when in a big program of 18,000 people, people got cured just by my lecture. I was amazed, and they told me that we got cured by your lecture, yes, by my lecture, we got cured. I can't believe it. This is such confidence now there. When there was this coup, I was also in Moscow, and I told them that I'm too worried about this coup that's happening in the country. That me surprised. They said, Mother, why should we worry? We are in the kingdom of God. That is my such sense. Mr. Noble, about which you have heard just now, is really a remarkable man. And he just listened to one of my lectures. And he fell into his depth. I think I can't explain how a man who is so learned, so well educated, how could he take research so easily? Because intellectual people have their brains very much covered with their thoughts and ideas. Somebody reads one type of a person, then he becomes identified. Another type of a thing, he becomes identified. You go and listen to somebody's lecture, that lecture goes into your head. So that the whole time your brain is covered with all the outside ideas which are not yours. Unless they are your experiences, they are not real. And to get this experience is very easy. Of course, this our country is a country of great humor. I must say, even in China, I was surprised when I went there. They came and asked me whether this is the treasure about which Chinese talk. The treasure of spirituality in India. I said, this is the treasure. But they have read about it. They know about it. They are all just waiting to get something out of us. But here I find not that. Here we are busy, I don't know before. And we have no time to pay attention to ourselves, to know ourselves, which is told by everyone. Christ has said you should know yourself. Muhammad has said, unless you know yourself, you will not know. I mean, there's no Indian scripture which has not said about it, that you should know yourself. There should be self-knowledge. And this knowledge, self-knowledge, takes you beyond your mind and beyond science. Dr. Shah has asked me to talk about mega science. I don't want to disturb you by this is something which is mega science. Science, as you know, has its own limitations. First of all, it is amoral. There is no morality. And so with science you can go any further, anywhere. You can kill people, you can destroy countries, and you don't feel anything because it is aimless. Now, morality doesn't mean outside restriction, but it means compassion, love, pure love for others. Is morality. In that pure love, you understand what is to be done, what is not to be done. But if you artificially start anything like a moral rearmament or something, such people can become extremely dry and also very content. It should come from within, that you should know about yourself that you are nothing but you are a pure spirit. You are not this body, this mind, you are not this ego, you are not this emotion, but beyond that, you are the pure spirit. And once you become that, even knowing in the lecture is not sufficient, you have to become. Becoming is the point. If you become that, then you will be amazed how great you are. Not that you become collectively conscious automatically, but also you become a fountain of love and compassion. Unless until this happens, you cannot bring in unity. For example, now I've been working Sir Yoga on a level which I would not call it government level or in any official level. I never tried to disturb my husband's office or anything. But I just started on my own. First of all, with 7-8 people in that. Gradually it grew up into such a sweet thing that we could get to Russia, get to all the five Eastern Bloc places, we could go to all the European countries, even to America and South America. It was just, people felt that. See, if one person came, say, from South America, he said, "Brother, what about South America? When I am coming to South America, we need you very much there." When I went there, I found there were so many seekers. They were not seeking money, power, nothing, just seeking them. Now, I must tell you a sweet story about Germans. Because they have shown their sweetness. First time when I went to Russia, there were 25 Germans came to Moscow. I said, "How are you here?" They were Sadhu. I said, "Mother, don't you think that we Germans have killed so many Russians? Don't you think that it's our duty that we should come and give them what it is?" It just filled me with such love and such compassion. That look at these Germans, they have become so sweet, so soft, you won't believe that they have anything of Hitler that they have. Then they went, these Austrians, they are also German, so they went to Israel. I said, "Why did you go to Israel?" There was no arrangement or anything, just they went and stayed there. They said, "Mother, the thing is that we felt very responsible for these Israelis, the Jews, because so many have been killed in our country. And this we just cannot forgive ourselves and we have to do something about it." Imagine Germans going to Israelis and talking to them and got hold of some very nice young people about 6 years. But I was amazed that they came to Egypt when I asked this guy, I said, "How are you here?" He said, "Why not? Because we want to make friends with the Muslims. So we have to be here in Egypt." I said, "Very good idea." Automatically they are working out this unity. Automatically. I don't tell them. They just do it on their own, understanding that what is needed is an inner understanding, inner unity. Now outside. This is what is to be really very proud. That we human beings are capable of tremendous things if we fall into this ocean of love. And we do it in such a beautiful manner, in such a sweet manner, that you can't believe that they are human beings, that they are doing that like angels. They really absolutely gone beyond all the limitations of human life. The other day I read an announcement, or you can say news, about a gentleman in London who was saying that I am going to start a jihad. For what? To get rid of all the immorality they have in the West and all the sorts of things, the drinking and all other things he was describing. And so, one certain lady telephoned to me that, Mother, what is the need to do jihad for that? Just for yoga, to get rid of all these things. We all were drunkards, we were all doing all kinds of nonsensical things. We believe in all kinds of immoral things. You don't have to do jihad for that. You just get it yourself so much clean and so much above all these things that all these, what we call upadi, in Sanskrit we call it upadi, meaning all these appendages that are within us fall off. Because that, it happens. I assure you it happens, it will happen to you what? No, there's nothing special. Because this Kundalini is your own. And this Kundalini, when it does work out. It's your own mother, it's your individual mother, she knows everything about you. And the main thing is your second birth is very correct. Very. You all are capable of it. Especially for Indians, I should say, we should be thankful we have so many cities, so many sutras, so many great incarnations. But it's like some lotuses that have come out, and the rest is still just the same. Now we have to understand that we Indians are born in this great country of yoga because of our previous lives, maybe some sort of a blessing. But we are not taking advantage of it. Problem is we are not taking advantage of this yoga bhumi, which can very easily give you yoga and can give you all the blessings of the divine. We have to try and we have to work it out. The meta science part is, there are so many things I can tell you that we have to about the soul, about so many things that have not been explained so far to certain. For example, in the first, the first chakra called as Mula. In this chakra, it is made of carbon atoms. Now, carbon atoms, many of carbon atoms in C. Now, if you get hold of a carbon atom and take a photograph, what you will see, we are made, that if you see from left to the right, you will find there's a source, just like Omkara, the same thing looks like Omkara. But if you see from down upward, you will see alpha and omega. Christ has said, I am the alpha and the omega, in He is the incarnation of Shri. It can be proved. So many such things can be proved. I may not be able to tell you all that in this small short time. But I would say that there are many things which are said about soul, about all these things can be proved. Another thing is that once you get yourself transition, you start feeling cool breeze coming out of your hand and you can feel the all-pervading power around. Now with this thing, you can say what center you are touching. Because these are all 7 centers on the right hand, 7 centers on the left. You can easily feel on your fingertips the different centers. Even a small boy can. Anybody can feel that. Once you start feeling, anybody can tell you what's wrong with you, or you telling yourself what's wrong with you because you lose that center. As I told this morning, if you take about 10 children, eye of their eyes and their real life souls, and you put somebody before. Ask the boys, what did he tell you? They'll raise one finger, all of them the same. So they will all raise the same finger. Supposing they raise this finger. Then something wrong with your throat, and you ask the person, something wrong with your throat? He said, how do you know? I have not spoken, how do you know? I said, how do I know? It's communicated to you, the knowledge, through this power, that this is wrong with this person. We are in this country also suffering from lots of false rules and false. Some of them were in jail and have come out and have become very good, making big money and this and that. And especially they take to ditch. They go in any city, they find out who is the money man, who is rich, who is in power, who has a big position, and they approach them. These people, actually, you can find them out on your fingertips. Because if anyone is like that, then you just start reading the clearly and Quran, that your fingers will speak, your hands will speak at the time of Qiyamah, at the time of resurrection. They will speak and tell you about yourself and about us. You can feed your own sentence and you can feed the sentence of others. Supposing you know how to control and to also correct your sentence, you can correct the sentence of others. Now, so the curative that comes to you is not a big miracle. Because all these 7 centers are responsible. These are the basic 7 centers are responsible for your physical, mental and emotional being. And above all, spiritual. So you can, and that's the personality which will have a complete unity. Not only within himself, because he will be completely integrated. There will be no conflict within himself. He will be absolutely peaceful. And outside also, he will be very genuine and will be very loving and he will know one thing. Yoga has another little problem that if one Yogi goes somewhere. We had a Yogi who came to us in London, and then he went to Italy. Went to Italy, he told me, Mother, I'm feeling very frustrated, I'm feeling lonely, there are no surgeons. I said, all right, I went there, we had a program, and so many became surgeons. And then we were amazed that now today in Rome, I don't know how many thousands are there who are surgeons. Like this yoga started spreading, not by me so much I would say, but by people who went from here to there. Like once he is transferred from one place to another. There are many seeds like that, they transfer, they sprout, and the tree of yoga starts. Among these yogis, it's such love, that's very surprising. Extremely surprising how they love it. There was one yogi who was so fed up because the mother was torturing him. He told me, Mother, I want to die, I don't want to live. I said, no, you say that. No, I'll take another life and come back to you and all that. And when this bomb blast came, he was the only person who died. But from all over the world, the inquiry came. From all over the world. People said you must do something about this and you must know where to bury him and you are the saint and this and that. And in Bombay, people were amazed in the municipality how this one gentleman was died. All over the world, disturbed. If something happens to somebody, say in Australia, all the surgeries all over the world start working. She's writing how they feel for it. As I told you, that if there's one thing, a big picture, whole body knows about it. In the same way, this becomes a living organization of people who are the righteous. They are so aware, whether it is Russia, Poland, Bulgaria, or could be European countries, or could be, say, American. Now in Africa, I was told there are 400 very strong surgeons. I've never been to Africa so far. And really amazing that there are 400 surgeons in one city of South Africa. Now what they are doing is to collect more and more of surgery. And that's how they are working. It's very surprising how it works and where it works. For example, I was thinking in Maharashtra it would work because there have been some great saints like Ganeshwara and all. But Maharashtra is a hopeless case, I think now. They are all intellectual, useless people just who are arguing, teaching nowhere. Though they have saints, they have had so many people to tell them about things. Ganeshwara is a great saint like him. Nothing goes into their heads and either they are ritualistic karmakandis or they are intellectuals. So, Sir Yoga is not meant for them, I think. I'm very sorry to say because I took my birth in Maharashtra and I thought the people in Maharashtra are so impervious. But I was surprised in Delhi. Delhi I used to call it a big deal and all kinds of things and nothing will work out. Delhi is working out so well, but I was more surprised about UP. I was married in UP and what I knew about UP people was that they just believe in coffee or whatever. Eat well and enjoy life. Very busy and very, I should say, people just indulging into all kinds of gossips and things. That's all. Such limited life. But in Lanka, something fair of that and it's spreading so much there. I was amazed how it has taken place in Benares also and also now in Bihar. But most surprising was in Bengal. First time when I went, there was only one lady in the program. Now I cannot have the program for any on. I have to have it in a very big ground or in a big stadium. In Bengal. Just see where it spread purpose, where it is continual or thanos. It's very surprising. And this is what it is that if you are really wanting to have a peace of mind, this is what you call the mother's temptations. You see, Pralovan as they call it. The mother says, alright, you won't take the medicine, I'll give you the chocolate. In the same way, we can say that if you really want to have peace, really want to have unity in this world, really, then it will. It's a very great vision, as I told you in the very beginning, that's very big vision, and if you have this vision, I'm sure Sir Yoga will work through your organization very fast, because that's the only way you can bring natural, inborn, spontaneous love out. We have programs, say every month, every year we have a program in a very farthest place called the 30. There, I was amazed. People come from all over the world. There are some rich, some are poor, some are like. We don't have much arrangements there, you see, for all these people because we didn't have money or whatever it is. But they don't want it. They can live wherever they are put, they are enjoying themselves. I told them, don't you think that's very uncomfortable? They said, Mother, we are just seeking the comfort of our spirit. Our spirits are so comfortable, we don't want it. They don't bother me that this is not good or that is not good, nothing. Just they enjoy that. And if you see the way all these nationalities enjoy themselves, you'll be surprised that the Unity International has achieved this mission. There's such a beautiful understanding, such a beautiful flow of enjoyment. Of course, they pull each other's legs sometimes, that's right. But lot of fun, all the time you see they are full of joy and happiness. All these petty things like rivalry, competition, all these drops, they have no liking for all this because they have all become the same. And this is already said by so many that these are men of God and they will become the inheritors of the divine love. They are not only capable, but it is their birthright. We have so many of them now. Surprising, I never knew there would be so many such beings. I never understood that. because only one or two here and there used to be like Sufis, you never suffered so much, and one in you meet here, so another you meet in Turkey, another in Tunisia, like that, one everywhere. But now I'm amazed. I went to Tunisia, I was amazed how people got there. And all these petty problems are finished. Of course, as doctor has told you, it cures. That's nothing. It cures. Not that it cures you, but it gives you completely new art and peace with yourself and with others. Because you develop the witness state by which you just watch. Just watch. You do not react. You just watch. And this helps you to understand yourself better. You just change the complete panorama of your own being. And people who come close to you are also amazed. What has happened to this gentleman? Such a fighting dog, such a shouting fellow. What has happened to him? How has he become so quiet? Why has he become so loving? And how he has become so much interested in us. The personality of our human personality as described in our Shastra is like an egg. And a bird is also called as Vijaya, is born twice. And also the one who knows the Brahman also is called as Vijaya, is twice born. Now, once you become one with the divine, you are born again. In the real sense of the word, it's not like this to put out a sort of a signboard saying, I am born again. But if you are born again, with that you have power. The greatest power is that you love and you enjoy your love. This power works. Now we have a lady here from Mexico. I told about her in my program. I never knew she was here, but actually she is here. So I'd like to tell her her story. She's the person who met me because she was working with the UN. She met me in New York. She got a realization. Very deep. And she went very deeply through her emotion. Then she got, I think, retired, went to Mexico, and her son was studying, very young one, very young. And she wrote to me that, mother, there is some disease, Mexican special disease, which only very few people in my family get when they are sick at a very old age. They get some sickness and then they get this disease, but they are very old when they are just dying, they get this. But unfortunately, my son has got it, very young boy, and I don't know what. So I started wondering now what to do. I was just putting my attention. So first letter came like this, the second came like that. Third one she was saying, should I come to you, should I bring the child to you and all that. And the fourth letter came from her saying that, mother, I was amazed, my son is completely cured. All the doctors have said that. Then it's not miracle, it's not a miracle, but it looks miraculous. So many such patients have been. Dr. Ryan has cured so many people. He's a very dedicated person who has now gone to Vashi where I have built a humble type of a hospital. He's working there, and for the poor we don't charge. He never used to charge anything, but then he asked us about it, he can charge 10. But otherwise, people who are going and staying there have. And so many have been cured. So many have changed their lives. So curing is just a praloman, we call it a temptation. For you to understand more than that, good health is not the end of it. I get so many wrestlers come to me to say, mother, give me peace, because I am absolutely now on the verge of collapsing. So I can't understand a wrestler who has the best health, the best muscles, and best everything should think like that it's better that I should get peace in my life. So to get peace, some just get, alright. It's like the parable of Christ, that some seeds got sprouted and fell on the marsh. So there are some who just become sprouted and do not come. But to the depth, people just jump into it and are grateful. I mean, I'm actually surprised how people all over the world have worked it out, and how such love and unity of a real nature, of a absolute understanding and joy giving unity exists between them. I've asked Shri for 10 minutes. I didn't know how would I say all these things in 10 minutes. The time will be too much. So I hope you all get this much. Just take a look. Let me see what happens. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am very thankful to Her Holiness Dr. NIRMALA Devi for our celestial message to all of us. And we hope that she will keep on her gracious blessings on us in future also. Because all of us greatly benefited by her words of wisdom. Now, in our program, there is a very distinguished personality present here. In fact, it doesn't require any introduction, but still, as a formality, I have to say something about him. I mean, Sir C.P. Srivastava, who is a very well-known personality in our country. Needless to mention that he was our brilliant officer in Indian Administrative Service, and later on he became the secretary to the late Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri. He was in Tashkent when Shastri died, and he has written a book also on the late Prime Minister, a book in politics, which is one of the best biographies written on the subject so far. Dr. Srivastava has held very important positions in the government and in the United Nations. He was the chairman of the Shipping Corporation of India, and then he went to United Nations as the Secretary General.
I know that you have been here for a long time, and I assure you I have no intention of holding you for more than a few minutes. But since I have been given the honor of saying a few words, I certainly take advantage of that. I am very grateful to Unity International for that privilege. I am going to speak about my own experience and how I saw her human being to be transformed. I have worked in government offices, and without being modest, I have provided a good example. I worked very hard, but I assure you I have not been able to transform even one single individual. All that may have happened is that perhaps some people took my example, started working hard, but to transform a human being is an impossibility. You can transform a machine, but a human being has so many options. It is impossible normally to transform human beings. I don't know what your experience is, but mine is that is something extremely difficult. Can you hear me there at all? Yes. And so I said, unless and until I see Sahaj Yoga working, I'm sorry, I won't accept it. And you know, in a family, when you have people of that kind, there's a problem. But I did not see initially what it all was about. until something happened. I was transferred from India to UK, to the United Nations Maritime Organization. We went there, and very early something happened which changed me and changed probably the course of events in some way about this matter. What happened was this, briefly. We were living in a place outside London. One day my wife went to Piccadilly Circus and found a young man lying there, unattended, a white young man. And he was obviously in great trouble. So she went to him and said, "What's the matter with you? Why are you here? Isn't there anyone to look after you?" The boy said, "I'm sorry, I have no one, and I'm in great trouble. I'm suffering from all kinds of diseases, drugs, and so on." So she said, "Come to me." And she brought home in her car. And when I returned in the evening, I found a young man sitting in my drawing room in my house whom I'd never seen. And what surprised me more was that he was wearing my clothes. So I thought I was seeing an apparition. I receded, went to my wife and said, "What on earth is this? Who is he?" And then she explained to me the stories. I said, "Well, if that is so, thank God. I'm happy that you have brought him home." And I'll not go further into details, but he stayed with us for around 2 to 3 months. And gradually this transformation took effect. And within 2 months, that young boy got cured of his diseases. He blossomed into a beautiful young man. He was an engineer from Australia who had gone astray. He went back to his mother and father as a good man and a cured man. And can you imagine the happiness of the parents of that boy when they received him back? Now that I thought was a miracle, because I still believe that every Sahaj Yogi is a miracle. To transform someone from an evil person to a good person, and I have no other word for that. Now thereafter, I began to see people who were accustomed to drugs, and they gave up drugs overnight. Now there's not a fail. I've seen myself. I've told you already, I'm a very hard nut, I'm not easy to convince. So when you see a person who gives up drugs overnight, what do you say? And he says, drugs have gone away, I haven't given up anything. Alcoholism goes away, immorality goes away. You can put young women and men of Sahaj Yoga together and nothing wrong will ever go there. So this sort of transformation you can see. So how I began to believe, and then I accepted, I acknowledged that I was wrong initially. I see my eyes were not open. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'll put to you very briefly how I see Sahaj Yoga. Sahaj Yoga, leave aside technicality. If you see the world, whether it's the world of the developed world or developing world, everywhere people are worried. They don't have peace inside. People who have 2 refrigerators, 2 cars, are they happy? No. Those who don't have enough to eat, are they happy? No, obviously. Why? And I tell you my own reason. The reason is this. You know, communism and capitalism both have created a society in which ethics has lost its value. Communism believes in the supremacy of state, and capitalism, extreme form, believes in a moral society. I mean, I'm not saying they are immoral. What I'm saying is the ethical base has been forgotten. And that is why all over the world, people are tortured. They are looking for something new. The established religions, the billions following them, have unfortunately become ritualistic. They are not really transforming human beings from within. The result is you go to Sunday church, you go to a temple, or you go to a mosque, you come back, and we know in this country the people are very religious, but the same people will do things which everyone, black, white, yellow, African, Asian, Latin American, European, anyone, because it believes in one united human family. There is the message of Unity International. It believes that all people are ultimately the creatures of one Almighty God. And that Almighty God, the Father, cannot distinguish between one group and another group. Now, that God has given you and me and everybody a spark, a little spark inside you, a spark which is there. If only you want to know. You have heard of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It's in you, these two persons. You want to awaken Dr. Jekyll in you, you can, if you really want it. No one can be forced. But if you want to be good, then there's a way. And the way is awakening your own power. It's not power given by some, it's not somebody that gives you power. You have your power. All you have to know is, it is there, you awaken it, and you become good. It's a very simple matter. And if you become good, then good governs your day-to-day activities. Then you will not think of evil. You will not think of harming somebody. You will not think of abusing somebody. You will think of doing good. Because inherently, human beings are good. So, Sahaja Yoga helps everyone to awaken the goodness in you and to exorcise the evil. And a good human being then is needed badly in society. It's only on the basis of good human being that you will have a good family, you will have good children, you will have good states, and you will have unity. Otherwise, all this effort is futile. Personally, I served the United Nations for 16 years. I feel UN should be promoting human resource development, not in the sense of promoting algebra, geometry, and so on only. They should be promoting a better human being, combining normal education with some education on these ethical lines. Now, I'm not talking very high principles of morality, saying the basic elements of ethics which are common to all religions. Now, that is Sahaja Yoga. And Sahaja Yoga is spreading now. She is my wife, I'm embarrassed but she is doing marvelous work. What can I do about it? I have to acknowledge and accept it. She in many countries, I've been to many countries myself, and initially I was a distant observer. I was still not too close, but I see this happening every day. So my own prayer is that human beings everywhere will probably take advantage of this. Her main contribution, I do, is not, people have talked of Kundalini before, but her main contribution is, she says, everyone sitting in a gathering, maybe 5,000, 10,000, they can get realization if they want to. That is her contribution. In other words, this is a new hope for mankind. Formerly, people said, you go to Rishi, and they sit down here for 10 years, and do this, penance, and do that. No. You remain normal, you educate yourself, pick up children, have a family, but be good. And this message of goodness can be passed on to a huge gathering or to gathering of a few ordinary individuals. And that is the hope of mankind, that a large number can get their benefit if only they want. I hope I'm not taking too much of your time. Thank you very much.
You have delivered a very thought-provoking speech.
Shri Srivastavaji, Shri Arjun Anil, Dr. Roy, Shri Saxena, Mitro, काम बताइए मुझे खुशी है प्रसन्नता है कि आज इस अवसर पर जो यूनिटी इंटरनेशनल फाउंडेशन की तरफ से इस समारोह का जो आयोजन किया गया है और उसमें खासकर योगा के बारे में, योग शास्त्र के बारे में जो इनके अनुभव है श्री निर्मला देवी के और खासकर डॉक्टर राय ने जो अपनी बातें बताई संबंध में, इसको सुनने के बाद सही मानव में हमारी जो प्राचीन योग शास्त्र है, जो प्राचीन ग्रंथ है हमारे यहाँ इस देश में, उसको हम बोलते जा रहे हैं। उन्होंने फिर याद दिलाया। मुझे आपको एक उदाहरण देता हूं, हम तो क्यों इस पर ध्यान नहीं दे रहे ज्यादातर, और यूरोप के लोग, और रूस के हो या जर्मनी के हो या और किसी देश के, वो उस तरफ रुचि ज्यादा दिखाते हैं। मेरे मित्र थे हैदराबाद के, वो बहुत बड़े खानदान के आदमी थे। उनका लड़का, उनकी रुचि है कि जो पुरानी चीजें उसको खरीदना, उसको इकट्ठा करना। उन्होंने एक ऐसे ग्रंथ का, उनके हाथ में एक ऐसा ग्रंथ आया जो ताड़पत्र में लिखा हुआ था, तो अपने पास रखा। उन्होंने समझा कि मेरे पास रखिए, क्या करूं, किसी संग्रहालय को दूं, किसी विश्वविद्यालय को दूं। देश के सर्व संग्रहालय गया, हर विश्वविद्यालय बताया कि ये मेरे पास है, आप अगर काम चाहे तो लीजिए। सभी ने देखा, किसी ने उस तरफ ध्यान नहीं किया। कहा कि हाँ रखिए आपके पास। कुछ मित्र उनसे मिलने आए थे, मैथ्यूर भवन के लोग, क्या एक ग्रंथालय है हैदराबाद में, क्या भी है, वहां के 2 लोग मिलने आए थे उनके मकान में। बातों बातों उन्होंने बताया कि मेरे पास कुछ ये ग्रंथ है। उन्होंने देखा, कहा कि इसको सुरक्षित रखिए, किसी को दिए नहीं, दो नहीं। और जर्मन विश्वविद्यालय के 2 प्रोफेसर को बुलाया उन्होंने, 2 महीने के अंदर आ गए वो लोग, और 2 महीने तक उसका अध्ययन किया उनके घर में बैठ कर, एक कमरे में। सिर्फ खाना खाने के लिए बाहर जाती थी, वरना नहीं। 2 महीने के बाद कहा, इस ग्रंथ में से ये चीजें हमको चाहिए, इसको आपको दीजिए। उन्होंने कहा क्यों? तो ये इसमें जो महत्व ज्ञान है वो कोई जानते नहीं, ये हमारे विश्वविद्यालय में जाएंगे। मुझे कुछ दिन के बाद जर्मन जाने का मौका मिला। मुझे एक किस्म का दिल में था कि क्या चीज है इसके अंदर। आगे प्रोफेसर ने बताया कि देखिए, ये ग्रंथ अब उपलब्ध नहीं होता, इसके अंदर जो ज्ञान है वो महान ज्ञान है। इसी से हम सारे साइंस और सारे औषधियों का ज्ञान इसके अंदर से हम निकालना चाहते हैं। मेरे कहने का मतलब यह है, जैसा माता जी ने कहा कि वो रूस गई थी, हजारों की तादाद में क्यों आए सुनने के लिए, वो जानना चाहते थे ये संसार क्या है। उस ज्ञान को हासिल करने की उसमें जिज्ञासा है, और हम भूलते जा रहे। आज हमारे पास कितने आएंगे? बहुत कम लोग जानने की कोशिश करेंगे, और दूसरे समारोह को और कोई रहेंगे, हजारों की तादाद में जाएंगे। वो कुछ काम के नहीं है हमारे लिए। मेरे कहने का मतलब ये है, हमारे जो प्राचीन ग्रंथ हैं उसमें जो ज्ञान भरा हुआ है योग के बारे में, हर शास्त्र के बारे में, उसको जानने की आवश्यकता है। श्रीवास्तव साहब ने कहा शांति की बात। यूरोप के लोग धनवान होने के बावजूद, करोड़पति होने के बावजूद उनमें शांति नहीं। मैं उदाहरण देता, मुझे बॉम्बे जाने का अवसर मिला। वहां मैं एयरपोर्ट पे खड़ा था, एक यूरोपियन महिला किताब लेकर खड़ी थी। मुझे ग्रंथ कहा कि इस ग्रंथ को पढ़िए। मैं बोला कहाँ से आई है? उन्होंने बताया कि हमारा एक भवन है यहाँ पर जू में, वो क्या कहते हैं, हरे कृष्णा हरे राम मंदिर कुछ है वहाँ। मुझे वहाँ जाने का मौका मिला। आज देखा लोग हिंदुस्तानी कम है और यूरोपियन ज्यादा है, अमेरिकन है, जर्मन है, फ्रेंच है, दूसरे कई लोग। देखा पूछा, सब लोगों से बहुत नौजवान लोग, ये नहीं कि जीवन में आके यहाँ मंदिर में बैठे, ऐसी बात नहीं है। 22 और 30 साल की उम्र में है, वो भी पढ़े लिखे विद्वान। मैं अनेक से पूछा तुम कहाँ तक पढ़े हो? ने कहा कि कोई इंजीनियर है, कोई डॉक्टर है, कोई फिलोसफर, कोई प्रोफेसर है, सब नहीं है। और वो लखपति करोड़पति है वो। बेटा क्यों आए हो यहाँ पर सब छोड़कर? हमारे पास सब कुछ है, मन की शांति नहीं है, शांति हासिल करना है। मतलब यह है हमारे शास्त्रों में जो योग के लगे थे, मन और शरीर को नियंत्रण करने की जो शास्त्र है उसकी जरूरत है। मुझे खुशी है कि निर्मला देवी जी ने इस काम को अपने हाथ में लिया है। मुझे बताया गया है इनके केंद्र सारे विश्व में फैले हुए हैं, यूरोप, अमेरिका, अफ्रीका और एशिया के देशों में, और लोग इसमें दिलचस्पी ले रहे हैं। इसमें एक बात और कहना चाहूंगा, हमारे यहाँ दो किस्म के लोग हैं, साधुओं में, संतों में, ऋषियों में, सब अपने आप को क्या कहते पता नहीं। लोगों को धोखा देने वाले भी लोग मुझे बताए। मैं गया हूँ यूरोप के कई देशों में, अफ्रीका गया हूँ, यूरोप के देशों में गया हूँ, चीन गया हूँ, जापान गया हूँ, एशिया के दूसरे मुल्कों में गया हूँ। जहाँ जाता हूँ तो दो किस्म के लोग बताए जाते हैं। एक सही मानव इस शास्त्र को, सही मानव वेदांत को भी जो स्पिरिचुअलिज्म है इसको फैलाने का सही मानव में रास्ता दिखाने वाले कुछ लोग हैं। कुछ लोग हैं अपने स्वार्थ के लिए और सारी दुनिया को धोखा देते हैं। इन चीज को जानने की जरूरत है। मुझे खुशी है कि डॉक्टर निर्मला देवी सही मानों में इस शास्त्र को, योग शास्त्र को और आज इस आयोजन का प्रबंध किया है और एनिल। आप सभी जानते हैं यूडी इंटरनेशनल फाउंडेशन कई सालों से एक महत्वपूर्ण कार्य कर रहा है। मैं सबसे पहले दिल्ली आया 30 साल पहले, 30-35 साल पहले जब मेंबर पार्लियामेंट बनकर आया, सबसे पहले अनिल से मुलाकात हुई। उस वक्त से आज तक इस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की तरफ से जो महत्वपूर्ण कार्य हो रहा है उसको देखते हुए मुझे ये कहते हुए प्रसन्नता है कि इन्होंने हर वक्त उन लोगों को चुना है जो सही मानव में मानवता को मानवता की तरफ ले जाने के लिए जो कार्य कर रहे हैं, उनको प्रोत्साहन किया, उनको सम्मानित किया। आज उनको आदर किया गया। निर्मला देवी ने एक है कई बड़े लोगों को मैं इसी हाल में हमने यहाँ दिया इनके ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की तरफ से। आज फिर एक बार डॉक्टर निर्मला देवी को सम्मानित करते हुए हमको प्रसन्नता है।
साहब बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। आपने जिक्र किया इसी हॉल का, तो मेरा ख्याल है कि आज से 17 साल पहले हमने ओलफ पाल्मे को जो अवार्ड दिया था इसी हॉल में दिया था, और मिसेस ओलफ पाल्मे स्वीडन से यहाँ अवार्ड लेने के लिए आई थी। उनके 3 बच्चे हैं और मिसेस पाल्मे यहाँ अवार्ड लेने के लिए आई थी। तो हम एक बार फिर हिस्ट्री क्रिएट कर रहे हैं। हम माताजी को जो हमने अवार्ड अनाउंस किया, तो ऐसा है कि यूनिटी इंटरनेशनल ने इस क्षेत्र में, जैसा कि रवि जी ने कहा, क्योंकि इनके हमारे बहुत पुराने के ये बॉम्बिंग से या गन्स को साइलेंट करने से नहीं आएगा। पीस तो तभी आएगा जब आप अपने अंदर को ट्रांसफॉर्म करेंगे और आपके विचार बदलेंगे, और जिससे एक नई मानवता जन्म लेगी। और वो मानवता जो है वो कोई वैर द्वेष उनके मन में किसी के लिए नहीं होगा, तो पीस तो अपने आप आएगा। तो ये बड़ी अच्छी फिलॉसफी है माताजी की, और हम इसका बड़ा आदर करते हैं और हम उम्मीद करते हैं कि माताजी का संरक्षण हमें रहेगा और हम इस क्षेत्र में और काम करने के योग्य होंगे। अब लास्ट आइटम से पहले, लास्ट आइटम चाय है, लेकिन चाय से पहले ये हमारा कर्तव्य है, हमारी ड्यूटी है कि हम वोट ऑफ थैंक्स प्रपोज करें। और मैं बड़े डायनामिक
निर्मला देवी, प्रसिद्धि से बाकर, distinguished guests, excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. We're all gathered here this evening for a Unity International function which has bestowed its biggest award to Her Holiness Shri MATAJI NIRMALA Devi. We're indeed very fortunate and blessed to be here in her presence. She has immersed us in joy and complete happiness. We are the seekers, and you have shown us the way to the truth so beautifully and explicitly. We thank you for that. Shri Mataji, we thank you for showing us the path, for showing us the way of uniting our individual consciousness with the all-pervading divine love, the Param Chaitanya. The divine power that knows no nationality, no boundary, no race, no religion, no caste, no creed, no color. Our own collectivity at Sahaj Yoga is a prime example of all this. My own personal experience has been a remarkable one. I could never imagine that a day would come when we could sit together, different people from different backgrounds, different races, from all over the world as one. This is really the purpose of Unity International, and I am ever so grateful even to Unity International for bestowing this honor upon Shri Mataji. We're also extremely grateful to Sir C.D. Srivastava for gracing this occasion. Your personal experiences and observations of Sahaj Yoga are indeed enlightening. This is really the first time I've ever heard you speak publicly. And I must admit, I would like to hear you speak again very soon. It is a real pleasure to hear you speak. And thank you very much, Sir C.P. माननीय श्री सत्यनारायण रेड्डी जी, जो ज्ञान आपने हमें दिया और जो उपदेश आपने दिया, उसके हम आभारी हैं। आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। We must thank Shri Anil for organizing this evening's function and also for the introduction that he gave about Shri Mataji to all the distinguished guests here. Must also thank Shri Jagjoti Jain, who announced the award of Unity International reserved for the head of state to Her Holiness Shri Mataji NIRMALA Devi. Must also thank Professor U.C. Rai for his explanation of the principles of Sahaj Yoga and the chakras and how our body systems really work. I must at this stage tell you that I myself have been in Sahaj Yoga for just about 2 years now, and it really has transformed my life. It has radically altered the way I feel, the way I think, the way I look at the world, and the way I react with people. And I'm sure that all of you can experience the same joy and bliss and peace that we have found in Sahaj Yoga. I must also thank Mr. Judy Seth for sponsoring this evening's function and all those people who put in the tremendous effort in making this a success. Last but not least, please accept my gratitude and thanks for being present here with us today this evening. We are really honored to have you here, and on behalf of the organizers, I would like to invite you to please join us for tea in the adjoining room outside. Thank you very much. And thank you.
By fire, by anything, and that will be the source for the selection of man.
I mean, you see, people have not understood him sometimes, I think, but it's a fact. Dynamism is a fact. You know, but Mohammed Sahib, and poetry is not so whatever he said, he talked about Sahaj Yoga such a lot that I was, how he has talked about 7 levels and all that, and then